My name's Samantha Yamada, and I'm a fourth-year doctoral student at York University. My supervisor is Deborah Pepler, and I've been involved with this community of practice for a couple of years now. I am assigned to be a partner with the Canadian Red Cross, and so that's the organization I've been working with. The primary thing that I think I've learned is the subtleties of building relationship with a nonprofit and mobilizing knowledge through that relationship. So one of the tasks that I've been doing with the Canadian Red Cross is helping them to evaluate one of their training programs. And I think the process of building enough trust so that I could review their materials and develop a questionnaire, which is, it's bumpy when you start a program evaluation. And so it wasn't perfect at first, but we had enough trust that we could actually go back to them and say, you know, some stuff's working, some stuff's not working, and they were really receptive, and the level of enthusiasm was still there even though the tool wasn't perfect. I think that's, it's pretty rare, and yeah, I think it's a reflection of the challenges and the richness that's come from this community of practice. So my participation with PREVNet has already started to affect my professional choices in that being in a fourth-year doctoral student in a clinical developmental psychology program, I've just finished my applications for internship. And when I've applied, I had to really reflect on the kind of psychologist that I want to be. We have to write a bunch of essays. And I really found that I was thinking a lot about bridging research and practice and bridging the gap between different organizations. I wrote a lot about that in my essays. And I also found that demonstrating that I had experience on the ground in bridging different organizations and different fields of practice really, I feel like it's giving me an edge in terms of where at least my profession is headed. I think it's a skill set that's needed, so I'm hoping that it's shaping the kind of psychologist that I think I'm going to be. Two things surprised me coming out of this community of practice. The first thing is how respectful I feel like the group was towards the graduate students. Sometimes as a student I feel like I'm very junior and I'm not sure if my voice will matter or impact anything. And I feel like there have been a lot of opportunities to really shape the process, to be heard, and to be acknowledged within this group. The other thing that surprised me was really the openness of the different NGO partners to share their resources. I really didn't think that they would share documents from what they have or share struggles that they've been having in their organization. And I was really surprised at how trusting they were with each other, with us as researchers, and that there's a policy shift to push for this type of collaboration and in terms of bridging research and practice. And I think that this funding allowed on two levels. It allowed this type of work to actually happen and knowledge mobilization to actually happen at a level that I think is really innovative. And it also created an opportunity for training for future professionals to build these skills. And so my hope is that people who are funding to create social impact will recognize that there is a need to fund these types of communities of practice so that we can really bridge research and practice and create the impact that we're hoping for.